When it comes to building or automating with ChatGPT, whether that's by using the API or using automation platforms like Make, Zapier, or N8N, one of the most common questions that I get asked is what is the difference between the developer, user, and assistant message role? In fact, this is not only a question that I'm getting asked a lot. On the Make community forum, we can see the third most viewed question: what is the difference between system, user, and assistant roles in ChatGPT? This question was posted back in May of 2024 and has had more than 20,000 views. One thing you may have noticed, so here they're referring to the system role. This was its previous name. This has now been renamed to developer by the team at OpenAI. They said they renamed it to make it a bit clearer to understand. In this video, I'm going to go through each of these roles one by one. I'm going to tell you what it should be used for and why you should be using it. And also I'm going to give you real world examples of how we're using each of these here at 9X. So in this video, we're going to be using make.com to demo all the API calls, but this will be the exact same if you're using Zapier or N8N, or if you're actually coding this directly and using the API, you'll just be adding these roles as a parameter to your API call. For anyone who hasn't used Make before, Make is a great way for, let's say, non-developers to be able to interact with APIs. There'll be a link in the description below where you can sign up to a free month on their Pro plan, and you don't need to add a credit card. So in Make, I'm just going to search for the OpenAI app. We can see here, I can select OpenAI, and now I need to select an action, and I'm going to use the Create a Completion GBT and O1 models. And I just need to select my model. I'm going to be using GPT-4o for this demo. And now you can see that it's asking us to add messages, and the keyword is on messages, they're plural. So this is where people probably start to get confused. When you're just chatting with the ChatGPT app, you sort of send one message at a time. But when you're interacting with the API, you can actually send more than one message. So I'm going to add a new message, and here is where you have to basically assign a role to this message. And I guess this is why this question is coming up quite a lot. We have those three roles: the developer, previously known as system, user, and assistant. And we're going to get started with the role that you will probably use the most, which is the user role. So the user role represents the questions, prompts, or commands provided by the human user. You can think of this as the same way as when you're prompting ChatGPT on the chatgpt.com app. You write a prompt and you get a response. That is using the user role. And as I said, this will be the most common role that you use when you're building out your automations. So let's take a look at the user role in Make. So I've got the user role selected, and now I need to add some text content, and this is going to be my prompt. So let me do something like propose 4 LinkedIn posts around the topic of understanding the different ChatGPT message roles when using the ChatGPT API. So that's a simple prompt, and it's coming from the user. So I'm going to hit OK. And let me just run this and do the API call. So that is successfully run. Let's take a look at the result. And so here we can see the output from ChatGPT based on my user message, my prompt. Here's a series of LinkedIn post ideas focusing on understanding the GPT message role. So we have an introduction to ChatGPT message roles, mastering the system role, mastering the user role. Maybe I use one of these posts when I share this video, but that's it. Very simple. The user role is just like you would be giving a prompt to ChatGPT. So taking a look at the developer role, previously known as system. So again, these are instructions to ChatGPT. That's where this is similar to the user message, but how you can think about using this, here you want to set the core instructions. So this is maybe telling about the tone ChatGPT should use, how it should behave, any context you need to give it, and also how it should format its responses. These are great to set in the developer role. Two very important features of developer messages compared to user messages. So first of all, developer messages, any instructions you put in a developer message is basically prioritized ahead of the user message. So if there's ever a conflict, the developer message instructions will win out. We'll see an example of this. And also developer instructions persist throughout the whole conversation. So you don't need to, in every user message, maybe keep repeating, please use this tone. You can set it once at the developer message level, and it should persist through the whole conversation. So to test out this developer role message, I've just got a pretty random user message here saying, say the word orange 10 times. And I ran this previously. We can see that the result from ChatGPT, it's able to do that. Here I want to give you an idea of the prioritization that I was talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new message, and we'll use the developer this time system. And one important, like let's say best practice that I tend to use is this developer system message we'll always tend to set first. So this would be the first message, and then we have any of our user messages or user prompts. And in the developer message, I'm going to give some instructions saying, never use the word orange under any circumstance. So now we have this conflict. This developer message is saying never use the word orange, but then we have a user message saying use the word orange 10 times. So let's see what happens when we run this one. And we can see here we get a different result. Now ChatGPT is saying, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. Let's focus on something else that might interest you. So that's this concept of the prioritization. And to give you a real example of how I'm often using this developer message, I've gone back to my previous scenario that I've set up, which is generating my LinkedIn post based on a topic idea. And right now these 4 posts are basically in one long text string, but we actually have some options to adapt this prompt to have them individually set up that we could use in automations. So back in our chat completion setup here, you can see I have my prompt for proposing the 4 LinkedIn posts. And right now we've got the long text that we want to break up. So we have some additional settings here in Make. I'm going to click Show Advanced Settings. And what we have now is the response format. And right now it's set to text. We're getting that one long text response. But what we can actually do, and this is specific for the OpenAI ChatGPT API, we can tell it to respond with a JSON. But one important point to notice, you'll see here, when using JSON object, you must also instruct the model to produce a JSON. And this is typically what I'm using the developer message for in most of my automations. One other setting I'll change, I'll say pass JSON response to yes. And now I can go and set up my developer message. Let me change this to developer and replace this. I've got a prompt ready to go. Again, what I'll do is I'll move this one above the user message so that the developer message is always first. That's typically what I'm doing. And we can go and take a look at the prompt that I've set up. So my developer message here is telling it it's a helpful copywriting assistant made to create engaging LinkedIn posts. But this is the important part. I'm saying always output your response in the following JSON format, and then I'm giving it an example of how it should do so. So here it gets a little bit technical here, but I have what's known as an array. An array is just a list of items. So I have an array called posts, and then for each item in that array, I want to have one post at a time. And see, I'm saying add the first post copy here, then the next one, then the next one. And I'm also giving it some instructions on how it should handle line breaks in the text. So let me run this one now. And now in our result, we see here it actually says collection instead of long string. So I have my posts, and now you can see I've got 4 posts separated into 4 different sections rather than one long text. And in each section, we have the post copy. So here we have my 4 LinkedIn posts, and this is something that I could now use in future steps of the automation. Imagine we had like a Google Sheet with different content ideas or topic ideas. We could run this automation for every idea and generate 4 posts and save them somewhere else. Now, if you haven't yet, be sure to check out our free AI and automation tutorials. We cover everything from building custom GPTs all the way up to building your own AI agents, all without needing to know how to code. I'll leave a link in the description below. Now, lastly, moving on to the assistant role. These are responses generated by ChatGPT. So the purpose of an assistant message is to indicate a response that ChatGPT gave. And you might be wondering, well, if these are responses coming from ChatGPT, why would I be setting this in an API call? Well, basically, this opens up a lot more use cases and more advanced prompting strategies. If we only had the developer and the user message role type, we'd pretty much only be able to do one-shot prompting. We'd give it ChatGPT a prompt and get an answer back, and we wouldn't be able to have a conversation like we can with a ChatGPT app where the AI actually has context of the previous interactions in the conversation. So one workflow that I like to use a lot, and basically these assistant messages make it possible. Before going and setting up a prompt in an automation, I'll actually have a chat with ChatGPT either via the app or in the website. And then what I can do is when I've got that conversation to a point where it's giving me good results, I can actually go and take that and implement it in my automation. And we're going to do that now for the LinkedIn post example. So right now in our make scenario, it's generating the 4 posts on the content idea, but it doesn't really sound like me or match my tone or how I would format my LinkedIn posts. So what I've done here in ChatGPT, I've asked it to analyze my top performing LinkedIn posts. And what I've done in this very long prompt, I'm sharing, I think 5 or 6 of posts that I previously shared on LinkedIn, and then giving it some instructions to how it should do the analysis. And now we see, rather than immediately generating new posts, what I've asked ChatGPT to do is do a deep analysis. So we can see here it's created a summary, it's looking at my writing style, it's looking at my formatting, it's looking at recurring elements in my post, also the content structure, that I start with a hook, then mention a problem or context introduction, then I give a breakdown or an explanation, and finally a call to action, and then some engagement tactics that I use to drive engagement. I've then asked, hey, that's an amazing summary. If I were to share with you a topic for my next LinkedIn post, can you write it matching these best practices? And it said, sure. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this conversation and add it to that make scenario. In make, I'm going to update the API call that I'm making to ChatGPT to generate these posts. So I have my developer message, I've got my user message, and now let me bring in those messages from my ChatGPT conversation. So again, with user, I can now go and edit this first message where I'm asking it to do the analysis and copy the whole thing. So editing makes it very easy to just go and copy the whole thing. I'll now drop this in here. Again, now important, I need to change the order of these because this was the first message in the conversation. So it should be just after the developer role. I'll now fast forward. I'll go and bring in the couple of replies and my other prompts and fast forward. All right, so I've gone ahead and added all those messages. We can see now we have some more messages here. So going through these, so this first user message, this is, you'll be analyzing several of my top LinkedIn posts. That was the first one. And now I've added an assistant message. So this is where this assistant role comes in very useful. And here it's giving the full summary that ChatGPT gave. We now have another user message saying, that's a great summary. If I were to share with you a LinkedIn post, can you write it matching this summary? And then the assistant answered, absolutely, share the topic and I'll craft it. And now I've basically kept that last user message exactly the same, proposed 4 LinkedIn posts around the topic of understanding the different ChatGPT message roles when using the ChatGPT API. One additional edit we need to do is in that developer role. Here I'm saying always output your response in the following JSON format. Now this could confuse the LLM because I'm saying, hey, it should always reply in JSON, but then these initial assistant results were just replying in text. So all I can do is update this and say, whenever you are asked to generate LinkedIn posts, always output your response in the following JSON format. So now it will know, since the first one I'm asking it just to summarize, it doesn't need to do a JSON. Then I'm asking it a question, hey, if it's ready. And now I'm finally asking it to generate, then it should respect this JSON format. So let me now run this one and take a look how it goes. So this one is run. We can now take a look at the result. So again, we have our posts with our 4 different posts set up here in the array. And now if I look at the first one, we can see we're getting quite a different result. Previously, each post was like 5 or 6 lines all crammed into one. Now we can see it's got a very clear structure with line breaks, which matches the way that I like to write my post on LinkedIn. We have a clear hook at the start and a very neat structure for all of these posts. And it's a lot closer to what I might actually post on LinkedIn. So really using this assistant role opens up a lot more, like, let's say, more advanced prompting strategies like prompt chaining and chain of thought prompting. So I definitely recommend you playing around with it. I hope you liked this video. Subscribe if you got something out of it. And until next time, happy automating.